Speak of God. Speak of God. Speak of God. In season and out. When it's popular and when it's not. When they persecute you for it, when they praise you for it. It doesn't matter. Speak of God. We finished the synod yesterday, and I flew from Rome to Prague, and that's the city you can see behind me. I'm here to give a paper tomorrow. You know, I got to tell you, I lived in Paris for 3 years. I've been to Vienna, I've been to Toledo, I've been all over Italy. I lived in Rome for about a year of my life. All marvelous cities. I've never seen a city like Prague. And I've heard that over the years. People have said, you know, Prague is really the most beautiful city in Europe. I remember as a young guy watching the movie Amadeus that was filmed largely in Prague. And Milos Forman, who was the director of it, said, you know, Prague, it remains a gem. So it's been on my mind all these years. My first time coming here. And I've just gotten a marvelous tour this morning. We haven't even gotten to the cathedral. I think you can see it way in the distance behind me. But it's just a spectacular city. The beauty of it, everywhere you look. But here's what struck me, everybody, as I walk around and you see the signs of the faith. There's a great bridge that crosses the central river, and all of the statuary on it is religious in inspiration. On the buildings, religious symbols. It's precisely the Christian faith, more precisely the Catholic faith, that gave rise to the beauty of the city. There is a correlation between faith in something transcendent and the production of real beauty. It's no accident that in so many societies which have become secularized, the level of beauty goes down. You get these ugly buildings and ugly civic arrangements. What I want to impress upon, I'm going to talk to some seminarians this afternoon at Mass. I want to impress upon them, speak the faith. They fought off communism here, and communism, you know, was like a pall over this beautiful city. But now they're fighting off secularism, which, as you know, is rampant, especially in Europe. If you want to preserve the beauty of a place like this, you want to produce more of it, you need a transcendent faith. That's what gives rise to it. When you believe in God, that means you believe in a supreme good, a supreme value, a supreme beauty that can never be fully reached in this life, but that calls out to us. Now, what that does is it produces great art. Because artists strive more and more with ever greater energy and creativity to reach out to honor that great good. That's why it's not an accident that when cultures forget about God, when cultures become secularist, flattened out, they lose their soul and they stop producing beautiful things. Now, this country, like every other country, has been through ups and downs in its history. Most recently here, the struggle with communism. But now, in a way, the struggle with a Western sort of materialistic secularism that can be just as suffocating to the soul. So, here's what I want to say to everybody here, but especially the seminarians. I understand a lot of seminarians are here, right? The most important thing you can do, and it's not just for the church, it's for the whole culture. The most important thing you can do is speak of God. Speak of God. Speak of God in season and out, when it's popular and when it's not, when they persecute you for it, when they praise you for it. It doesn't matter. Speak of God. clear a space where the truth about God can be publicly articulated. That's the only way to preserve this great culture and to make it alive now, so that it can continue to produce beautiful things. Christianity is not a philosophy. It's a relationship to a person. It's becoming the friend of Jesus. In that sense, everybody in this room is a successor to the apostle. But apostle, apostellein in Greek, which means to send. To send. Jesus gathers his friends. He forms them according to his own mind and heart. And then he sends them out. And they took the message all over the world. Same thing today for everyone in this room. Called to be friends of Jesus, yep. And then sent. And see, friends, we are sent today precisely into a culture in the West that's often inimical to God. We're sent to speak of God, to speak of God, to speak of God. And that's a message which has resonance for the church and has resonance for our entire culture. That's what was singing to me today as I walk through the streets of your beautiful city.